to address the matter of protracted water outages that have been plaguing the city from around the end of August. The areas mostly affected are topographically the higher lying altitudes such as Manziville, Danpinoville as well as Nuetzeville, and most recently we were also seeing that there were water outages in the areas of Kagiso around the Zulu Jump and Kagiso secondary school areas. What we need is a holistic coordination from all spheres of governance. This includes both Eskom as well as Rand Water cooperating and working together so that we can solve this crisis. This is not a unique to Mogale City's crisis. However, we are topographically one of the highest municipalities in Gauteng and are therefore firstly affected. Mogale City has engineered the pressure release valves. We have further installed booster pumps as well as dedicated generators to assist in the reticulation services. However, at the end of the day, what we are calling for is an intergovernmental relations protocol so that the network can be embedded and isolated so that the pump stations of Rand Water can be exempted from load shedding. We need a stable water supply. Water is life, and this is multiple constitutional infringements. We're further also escalated to the Gauteng province as well as the South African Human Rights Commission. Water is life. It also affects the rights to dignity, Section 27 rights to access to water, and Section 9 to 11 rights to life and equality. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Tyrone, Mr. Mayor.
Tyrone.
Well, we were informed by the municipality here to try and assist. We were asked to try and assist, and what we did is we wrote to Rainwater, we wrote to Eskom. We met with Rainwater. Rainwater is telling us that they have the capacity, they have water. So in South Africa or in Gauteng at this point in time, we don't have a shortage of water. So we do have water. What we do have a problem with is the capacity to pump water from Rainwater side over to municipalities, and as Tyrone has said, it's not only Mogale that is affected. There are now, as I'm talking to you, parts of Johannesburg that are without water. There are parts of Tshwane that are without water, and I'm hearing now that there might also be parts in Ekurhuleni that are now beginning to experience the problem. And I've said this before, that Eskom needs to get its act together. This is what it's all about.
To address the matter of protracted water outages that have been plaguing the city from around the end of August. The areas mostly affected are topographically the higher lying altitudes such as Manziville, Danpinoville as well as Nuetzeville, and most recently we were also seeing that there were water outages in the areas of Kagiso around the Zulu Jump and Kagiso secondary school areas. What we need is a holistic coordination from all spheres of governance. This includes both Eskom as well as Rand Water cooperating and working together so that we can solve this crisis. This is not a unique to Mogale City's crisis. However, we are topographically one of the highest municipalities in Gauteng and are therefore firstly affected. Mogale City has
get water to residents. That water, somehow the municipality is still paying for that water. Those tankers, the municipality still has to be paying for those. And then Eskom, when you ask them, all that we get from them is we acknowledge your letter and nothing more. And I think it's a damn shame that we find ourselves in a situation where municipalities which are already cash-strapped are now finding themselves having to dig deeper instead of fixing more roads, fixing potholes, cutting grass. Now have to take money away from those services into now what is now being experienced here. At this point in time, it's going into summer, and as we are going into summer, obviously the water consumption gets to increase somewhat. Therefore, we're also asking for residents to also be mindful of them, that if you're not able to fill up your reservoirs here, and at the rate that we're able to then pump water into the reservoirs, it then becomes a problem. So it becomes a two-way thing. We need to be asking our residents to be very much responsible and careful of how they use water, because we are experiencing problems on the other side to get its act right. We have asked to them, we have written to them from the provincial perspective to say, can we exempt areas where we have reservoirs and areas where we have generators pumping water into reservoirs, exempt from load shedding. I think that is also falling within on deaf ears. What we are now going to do is we are going to write now to the minister, and I'm going to also write to the president, because this is a human right issue, a situation where municipalities, due to Eskom's own inability to secure continuous supply of electricity. Municipalities trying to buy boosters, trying to buy generators, and all these things are costing taxpayers money. So it's all taxpayers' money that now has to be pumped into this thing. What is Eskom doing to assist municipalities? Absolutely nothing. Now, Tyrone, Mayor Randall, and Mayor Palazzi, who had to, for a great degree, have to now use or rely on tankers to be able to down the line if they don't build enough capacity to be able to supply electricity. They have been warned to then say it will affect every other avenue of life. Now, you're thinking we're having problems right now. Wait until we hit stage 8 of outages. Not only will you not be able to communicate with everybody else, you will not even be able to call the hospitals or call the police if there's an emergency that you need to report. Then you start seeing anarchy that is going to then be crippling in. And